What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Welcome to the first annual Kicky Punchy Awards, brought to you by The Ray Taylor Show, breaking down some of the best moments and people involved with mixed martial arts. This is the 2019 recap, obviously. Let's get it going. Let's start it off with the best event, the best mixed martial arts event of 2019. Now, let me just say, these are all my opinions. I have not watched all of the fights of all of the organizations. I primarily watch UFC. It's going to be a very UFC heavy winners, spoilers. But just so you know, in case you're a big Bellator fan, this isn't the episode you should be watching. But anyway, start off with the best event of 2019, in my opinion, was UFC 244, headlined by Jorge Masvidal versus Nate Diaz for the BMF title. The card, pretty stacked from top to bottom. Not a whole lot of big names. I mean, the main card had some big names in it. Of course, Darren Till, Kevin Gastelum, Stephen Thompson, Vincent Luque. I mean, it was just a lot of knockouts. The prelim card, Corey Anderson versus Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker was the big up-and-comer in the 205 heavyweight or light heavyweight and just got destroyed by Corey Anderson. You got Edmund Shabazian taking out Brad Tavares. Rosenstrike beating Arlovsky, which gave him the quick turnaround to fight against Alistair Overeem. You had the Kevin Lee knockout of Gregor Gillespie. Derek Lewis wins in a decision. Stephen Thompson looking like the old Stephen Thompson against Vicente Luque, who was just unstoppable. And then the Till Gastelum fight was really close, ended up being a split decision. And the main event, okay, a little underwhelming considering it was stopped due to doctor stoppage, so kind of a downer there. I could be argued that there is a better card, but for whatever reason, this one stood out to me. Just a really fun, from top to bottom, from the early prelims to the main event. It was a fun night and just an interesting kind of thing because it was for a belt that's it's not a championship belt. So that's the event, my favorite event of 2019. The biggest upset of the year goes to Andrade versus Namajunas. Namajunas was destroying in that first round. I'm a huge Rose Namajunas fan. I think she destroys Andrade in the rematch, if they ever rematch. Namajunas is supposed to be coming back early this year, so looking forward to see who she gets matched up with and just see her back in the octagon. She is one of my favorite fighters to watch, Rose Namajunas. But Andrade beating her, I felt, was the biggest upset. And then Andrade, of course, lost the belt to Weili Zhang. But yeah, so that's my upset of the year. Most improved fighter of the year has to go to Jorge Masvidal. I mean, he was just kind of a journeyman fighter, and then all of a sudden hit a new gear and just getting the right matchups. I mean, the Ben Askren obviously knockout, the knockout against Darren Till, who's a big up and comer, just playing the game right. Even his backstage antics with a 2-piece and a soda, just from top to bottom, he went from just kind of he found a new gear this year, and yeah, it's been great to see, and it's excited to see who he fights next. The breakout fighter of the year, I believe, is Weili Zhang from China. I mean, put China MMA on the map. She had some great fights. A lot of people didn't know who she was going into her fight against Andrade. I had her beating Andrade. I thought she was well-rounded and just a beast in the octagon. And she got her name out there in a real quick way by getting that championship belt. So my breakout fighter of the year is Weili Zhang. Submission of 2019, the best submission of 2019 has to go to Bryce Mitchell for his twister. Just like I think he's the second twister in MMA or in UFC history. Um, they're very rare. He learned how to do it watching videos on YouTube, which is just insane. And how he threw it on in the fight was like he put it on quick, man. He put it on quick, and it was a great win for him. Twister submission, which is it's just a rare submission. You just never see it. So I enjoyed that one. KO of the year, obviously goes to Jorge Masvidal for his fastest KO in UFC history with his flying knee to Ben Askren, basically retiring Ben Askren. Even though he had one more fight after that, I mean that was pretty much that put a big stop to the Askren train. And I was interested to see Askren. I wish he had gotten better matchups, so I could actually see him. I'd like to see him win some fights, and I think he could beat a lot of people in the UFC. But he had to come in hot. With his undefeated record, and yeah, just that flying knee from Masvidal is just it's a highlight. A close second would probably be the Rosenstrike last minute punch to Overeem exploding his face. I mean, that probably would have been a close number 2 just for how crazy and how late it was in the fight. It wasn't a full knockout. It wasn't like a walk away knockout. But yeah, that would have been a good one. So that's my KO of the year, Jorge Masvidal. Now, my favorite fight of 2019 has to go to Kelvin Gastelum versus Israel Adesanya for the interim belt. Or was it the interim belt, or was it the vacated? It was an interim belt because Bobby Knuckles had his issues. Just a crazy fight. Gastelum, always a warrior. And Adesanya it was his toughest test. It was a great fight, just a great close fight, back and forth. Adesanya pulled away at the end. I mean, Gastelum just got hit with too much. But it was, out of Adesanya's fights, probably my most favorite to watch. His fight against Robert Whittaker was good, but that was just Robert Whittaker not fighting a good game plan. Where the Gastelum Adesanya was a war, man. That was a war. Great fight. So that's my best fight of 2019. Now let's move on to the best fighters I consider to be, anyway, the best fighters in the UFC at the moment this year. Female fighter, obviously, for 2019 has to go to Amanda Nunes, just destroying everybody. She had some adversity in her last fight against Durandamy, but, changed the game up, showed that she's well-rounded, got a little cocky, almost got caught with some up kicks, but was able to completely dominate and retain her title at 135. Hopefully, I think she wants to go up to 145 and keep that division alive, keep it going, and just defend both. But she's just so dominant. I don't know after she destroyed Cyborg, it's like, what can't she do, right? It's only going to be her at this point that's going to lose a fight. It's going to be like in the last fight, it's going to be her getting cocky and getting caught with something. Like she could have happened with up kicks in that last fight, but she was able to avoid and win. So it's up to her to lose that belt, but she's far ahead, I believe, of a lot of fighters. And then my favorite fighter of 2019, male fighter of 2019, is Israel Adesanya. Just kind of had a game plan, just destroyed it. Comes in with his own flair. He seems genuine. He's not trying to do like an act, like all these people trying to do like a Conor McGregor act, instead of just being themselves. And just turning up. He's great in interviews. I love when he's on Ariel Helwani's show, or Joe Rogan. He's just interesting to listen to. And just in so many ways, I'm a huge fan of Adesanya, and excited to see who he fights next. I'm not sure if they have a booking for him yet or not, but Israel Adesanya, my favorite fighter, male fighter, and Amanda Nunes, my favorite female fighter of the year. So that's it for the first annual Kicky Punchy Awards. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you disagree. Maybe change my mind on something. I could definitely see the event. I could be argued that there's a better card than UFC 244. But that's it for this episode. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Go buy my artwork over at inspireddisorder.com and save 25% when you use coupon code RTS. Follow me on social media at Ray Taylor. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!